Again, method overloading is very simple. You just have to follow the 3 rules, and you're allowed to reuse the same name. And it's very, very common. For example, let's go back to the banking class. And I just want to overload the constructor. Same rules. Very common to have overloaded constructors. I'm going to have one constructor that takes no parameters and just sets the balance dollars to 0.0. Not necessary, but there we go. Another constructor that takes a double and stores it. I'll make another constructor, a third constructor. Obviously they have the same name. All constructors have to have the same name. Same name as the class. And this one takes the double and a pin. There. Am I allowed to do this? I am. One takes 0 constructors, and then I change the number of constructors. No problem. I could also have changed the type of parameters. Okay, no problem. This is allowed. I can also change the order of parameters. I'll do that. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these things. 5 constructors. There are 5 ways to create bank accounts now. Okay, so one has 0 parameters. Then I change the number of parameters. I have 1. Then I change the type of parameters. I have an int versus a double. Then I change the number of parameters again. There are 2. Then I change the order of parameters. So I'm allowed to have 5 constructors. It looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are now 5 ways to create my bank account. From BlueJ, I manually pick the one I want. In your code, Java determines which one you want. For example, new class, test bank account. Class, test bank account. And then I could make a constructor for this new little class. And then I'll say bank account B equals new bank account. $500. Compile, no problem. First of all, as we learned from lesson 6, I see the composition diagram. Test bank account is composed of bank accounts. See? And I'm calling the constructor. That's what this does. This calls the constructor of the bank account. And I passed it an int. Well, let's see what that means. Out of the 5 constructors, this is the one that gets called. Alright. I think that's enough for overloading now. If you have questions, let me know. We'll review this back in class as well. It will be a review, so make sure you practice this and let me know if you have troubles via email. Here. Okay, now here's a problem that's been bothering me and some students for a while. I go through this trouble of making common sense, reasonable, understandable instance variable names, and then I have to change them just to avoid this problem. This compiles, but it does nonsense. All this does is I have this instance variable, and then in this method, this constructor, I have another balance dollars, which is not related to this one. This is a local variable. Parameters are local variables. And then this one has the closer scope, so it sets the balance dollars, this thing, to equal balance dollars, this thing. And there, out of these 3 references here, none of them are talking about the instance variable. They're all talking about this thing. There is a very simple way to resolve this problem of naming this keyword. Now, it goes like this. Forget the rest of the class for now. All I care about